Hello everybody, welcome to the I Am IT YouTube channel. My name is Shabazz Dan, as ever, I'm the IT Geek. We are deep into topic 6 now, which is the last episode today in topic 6, which is the fourth episode. It's very much been around I Am, Entra, looking at Active Directory domain services and talking about conditional access policies in the last episode. We did a bit of a demo on conditional access policies as well. So today's episode we are going to be sort of finishing that cycle around identity. So let's get started with this episode. So this is the SC100 Microsoft Cybersecurity Architecture exam series, and this is topic 6, part 4. So topic 6 is actually designing solutions for identity and access management, or IAM. And today we're actually going to focus on finish this topic off. We're talking about securing access for Windows workload identities. We'll then talk about designing a solution to manage secrets, keys, and certificates. Then we'll jump into the demo. So let's talk about securing access for workload identities first of all. So here are some of the sort of workload identities that in Microsoft Entra that you'll use. You have an app that's going to enable sort of a web application to access Microsoft Graph based on admin or user consent. And this access should be either on behalf of the user or the application. Then got what we call a managed identity. So this is used by a developer to provision their service with sort of access to Azure resources, such as Azure Key Vault or Azure Storage. Then got a service principal used by a developer to enable sort of CI/CD pipelines to deploy web apps from maybe GitHub or Azure App Service. So these are sort of the different sort of identities that we're kind of talking about. So now let's just that was a short kind of topic there. Well, let's talk about designing a solution now to manage secrets, keys, and certificates, or certs as I put there for shorthand. So, Azure Key Vault, or the standard tier specifically, first of all, and this is a FIPS 140-2 level 1 validated multi-tenant cloud key management service, and it can also be used to store secrets and certificates. Keys stored in Azure Key Vault are sort of software protected and can be used for either encryption at rest and sort of custom applications. Key Vault does provide a sort of modern API and the sort of widest breadth of sort of regional deployments and integrations with Azure services. We then have the Azure Key Vault Premium tier. So again, this is the FIPS 140-2 level 2 validated multi-tenant HSM offering that can be used to store keys in sort of secure hardware boundary. Microsoft manages and operates the underlying HSM and sort of keys stored in Azure Key Vault Premium. These can be used for encryption at rest and sort of custom applications. Key Vault Premium also provides a sort of modern API with the widest breadth of regional deployments and integrations with Azure services. We then have an Azure Managed HSM. So this is again a FIPS 140-2 level 3 validated single tenant HSM offering. And this gives customers full control of their HSM for encryption at rest, keyless, SSL and custom applications. Customers receive a pool of 3 HSM partitions, together acting as sort of one logical, highly available HSM appliance. And these are fronted by a service that exposes crypto functionality through the sort of Key Vault API. And Microsoft handles the sort of provisioning, patching, maintenance and sort of hardware failover of the HSMs, but it doesn't have access to the actual keys themselves because the service sort of executes within Azure's confidential compute infrastructure. Managed HSMs is integrated with Azure SQL as well, Azure Storage and Azure Information Protection PaaS services, and it offers support for keyless TLS with F5 and sort of NG-INCs. We then have the Azure dedicated HSMs. Again, this is a FIPS 140-2 level 3 validated, but it's bare metal HSM offering, and this lets customers lease sort of general purpose HSM appliances that reside within Microsoft's data center. The customer has a sort of complete ownership of the HSM device, and they're responsible for sort of patching and updating the firmware when required. And Microsoft has no sort of permissions on the device or access to the key material. The dedicated HSM is not integrated with the Azure PaaS offerings. Customers can integrate with the HSM sort of using sort of PKS hash 11. and KSP/CNG APIs as well. This offering is the most sort of useful for legacy lift and shift workloads, PKI, SSL, offloading, and Keynote TLS. Supported integrations include sort of F5, Apache, Palo Alto, IBM gateway, stuff like that. The final one is the Azure Payments HSM. So this is a FIPS 142 level 3 again, PCI HSM version 3, and this is validated again, bare metal offering. It's going to let customers lease payment HSM appliance in Microsoft data centers for sort of payment operations. This included payment processing, payment credential issuing, and securing keys and authentication data as well, and sensitive data protection. This service is PCI DSS and PCI 3DS compliant, and Azure Payment HSM offerings sort of a single tenant HSM for customers to have sort of complete administrative control and exclusive access to the HSM. And after the HSM is sort of allocated to the customer, Microsoft again has no access to that customer data. And likewise, when the HSM is no longer required, customer data is sort of zero, is basically erased as soon as the HSM is released. Talk about some best practices when it comes to Azure Key Vault. So obviously first of all, use separate key vaults. So use a separate key vault per application or per environment, development, pre-prod, and production, or per region as well. Make sure you control access to your vault. So lock down your access, to your subscription, your resource group, and your key vaults, and use role-based access control to do that. Make sure you create access policies for every vault, and use the principle of least privilege access to grant access as well. And make sure you turn the firewall and virtual networking service endpoints for that network protection. Make sure you turn on your data protection for your vault. So turn on purge protection to guard against a malicious or accidental deletion of your secrets and sort of key vault, even after soft delete is turned on. Make sure you turn on login and set up alerts as well. And finally, in scenarios when purge protection is not a possible option, Microsoft recommend backup vault objects, and which can't be recreated from other sources like encryption keys generated within the vault. So we want to talking about a bit of a summary now before we finish this episode on this topic. So when you're designing your strategy to maintain Key Vault, follow security best practices such as sort of controlling what users have access to. To access Key Vault, all users or apps must have the proper authentication to identify, the caller and authorization to determine the operations the caller can perform. Determine what services in your network can access the vault as well. Ensure the certificates have an expiration date, and these are sort of different strategies. These are for different strategies for within certificate management. Make sure you create self-signed certificates directly in Azure portal. Create an X.509 certificate signing request as CSR. Make sure you connect your Key Vault with a trusted certificate issuer and create certificates directly in Azure Key Vault. This has sort of many distinct advantages. So that is the end of this episode and also the end of this topic. So now we're going to jump into the demo now, take a little bit look at the Azure Key Vaults and some of the sort of policies we can set up and securing in Azure Key Vault. So let's jump into the demo portal. Hello everybody, welcome back. We are in the demo portal again, and this is the final demo of this topic, which is topic 6. And I want to look at Key Vault specifically, doing permissions and assigning permissions in Key Vault on different groups. So I want to create a new Key Vault here. We'll create an AZ104 demo RG. I'm just going to give this a name, AZ104-demo-KV. KVA. So I think I tried to create one earlier, so let's reserve that name. So I'm going to put this in the UK South. And here I want to show the pricing team. So we've got the standard, we've got the premium as well. This includes the support for HSM backups, backed keys that we mentioned earlier, which we've talked about in this episode. But I'm just going to keep it to standard. Here you can kind of enable, obviously soft delete is enabled by default, or you can obviously configure the days to retain deleted vaults. So I'm just going to put 30 days there, and then here's purge protection. You can disable purge protection or enable it. And again, you can do access control. So this is where you can either use RBAC, which is recommended, or vault access policies. And again, you can enable resource access as well. So Azure virtual machines for deployment, Azure resource management, Azure disk encryption as well. Um, so we're going to stick with the RBAC model because that's the new recommended way now, and Vault access policies are now kind of being filtered out. Obviously, you can lock it down to network. I'm just going to allow public access for now because I want to show the RBAC controls, and you can obviously do any tags that you might want to do. So let me create this. Once this is created, I'm going to assign some permissions to this using RBAC. So I'll be back when this is deployed. 3, 2, 1. So here we are in the Key Vault now. So this is AZ104 demo KVAA. And we need to go down to access control and IAM to assign the relevant roles. I'm going to click on add. Obviously you need to have the relevant permissions to be able to do this as well. Go to role assignment. And here we can search for the specific job function. So if I just type in key, here we can see all the different Key Vault roles: Key Vault administrator, certificate user, certificate officer, contributor, crypto officer. Massive, loads of roles. And again, depending on their requirement, you can select, if you want overall access, for example, you could do that, or just let you manage Key Vaults but not access to them. Contributor. Again, you can select a group here or a user. I recommend selecting a group for management purposes, and then you can review and assign that, and I'll assign that role to that security group. So yeah, I just want to quickly show the Azure Key Vaults and how you can manage the identity and access management to Key Vaults. So that's the end of topic 6. We're going to move into topic 7, and that'll be roughly halfway through the course because we've got about 15 topics in total. So thank you everybody for watching. Loads of useful links in my description, including my LinkedIn, my Twitter and my TikTok. Feel free to follow me and connect with me on my socials. Also a link to the Gale repository where you'll see all the sort of case studies for this exam. You can work through those if you want. They're not really labs, which is why I'm doing the labs a bit different. I'm just showing the sort of areas that we're kind of talking about as we go along. Also, there is a link to the Microsoft Learn topics as well, which you can follow, and I definitely recommend doing the Microsoft Learn content as well as my videos. Really complement each other. And the final thing I'd recommend is using the link to the Measure Up exam, practice exam, which are a Microsoft partner. And these are legit practice exams you can use and pay for a bit of a discount on them at the moment. This will help you with your preparation as well, trying to practicing exams that are more realistic to the actual exam. So yeah, thank you everybody for watching. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, and make sure you drop me a comment with any feedback. So yeah, just looking forward to moving on with this series. Hopefully you're enjoying it. So thank you for watching. Until next time, goodbye.